Cuba, it's me! Welcome to the very first episode of the Weekly Whisper video show. And I am your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. I love talking about wrestling. To just give it a quick sum up, this show, called the Weekly Whisper, is going to be a weekly video show where I talk all things 365 pro wrestling. Any news, any rumors, any announcements, anything and everything that has to do with 365 pro wrestling is going to be talked about this show. I will have guests on a few occasions, and I will just be doing everything I can to bring you whatever is going on in the world of 365. If you did not know, 365 is a new wrestling promotion that started up, and it's going to start here in 2020. They have not had a show, but that is what I'm here to talk to you about here today. And the first big shows, the very first shows for 365 are coming up this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have a lot to talk about. I can't wait to get started. So 365, basically what happened is there was a promotion called PWA that represented BC, British Columbia, Canada, and Ontario, Canada. And they closed down and they rebranded. And they have a new company now called 365 Pro Wrestling. We've seen some stuff on social media. They have been dropping daily podcasts on their YouTube. It's on Google Play, Spotify, a bunch of others. You can check them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And they also have a new weekly show called Starting Point. It's in your DNA. And then they've been doing some announcements about some of the matches coming up for the first 3 BC shows and the first 2 Ontario shows. Today I'm going to focus just on the BC shows. The BC shows are this weekend, and I feel like they deserve to get some really good time here. They are starting things off with quite a bang here. So the very first show ever in the history of 365 Pro Wrestling is going to take place this Friday, January the 10th, 2020, in Camberwell, British Columbia. It will take place at the Willow Point Lions Club, which is 2165 South Island Highway in Camberwell, with 7 p.m. door entry and a 7:30 p.m. bell time. This rings close to my heart. I had grandparents that lived in condominium on South Island Highway, so I'm just really excited. What a group, what a crew, what a roster for these first BC 365 shows. I'm sure the roster will change over time as it does in BC and on Ontario, but for the first group of shows, you really can't go wrong. You got some solid competitors here and some great matchups. So the very first night, now I've seen the matches that are announced, but I don't know the order of the matches. I do know the main event though, but I want to know who is going to be in the very first match, the opening contest ever in the history of 365. They will go down in the record books. But let's talk about some of the matches that have been announced. We have Haviko, who has recently made a big return to the wrestling scene there. He's going to be taking on Tony Baroni, in which should be a stellar contest, one that you don't want to miss. And I also seen announced BJ Laredo is going to be taking on Zach Andrews, but I believe from what I'm seeing is Cremator Bound Slasher has been added to the match. It is going to be a triple threat match, elimination match. So not only do you have to beat one of your opponents, you have to beat both. Well, technically, the other opponent can get eliminated by someone else, but you have to outlast 2 other competitors, and we're sure to see a great match there. Of course, BJ was the former VIPW heavyweight champion for a while there. He just recently lost it in 2019. Cremator's been around forever, haunting the Vancouver Island, the Pacific Northwest, the mainland, everything else. Zach Andrews, I haven't heard much about him. I'm going to have to do some more research. I apologize, but I'm going to find out more from him. I can't wait to see what kind of a splash he'll make this weekend. We also got the old greedy bastard, Jordy Taylor, versus Brett Matthews. Now, I know the stakes for this match are very high, as these guys used to be former really good friends, and now they had a falling out, so to speak, and they really want to prove to each other who is the better friend out of the two, and they have a lot riding on this momentum. And also, I wanted to get into, no championships have yet been announced by 365. There's no titles on these first 3 shows, so it'll be interesting how the rankings, if they ever do decide to bring championships. Now, I've got some inside information, Vic Venom style here, the Informer, that there will be championships coming. Do we know when? No, we don't, but we do know there will be championships. So everyone will be jockeying for position. Every win and loss will be a big deal leading up to when the champions start getting crowned. But there is no championship match is on the first 3 shows here. Now we have some other ones, some really good matches here. We got Beautiful One, Billy Swade versus the Beef Boy, Elliot Tyler. I've been hearing Beef Boy's name a lot recently, and he's really been breaking out. Billy Swade is also a great competitor. Man, all these matches, the first 4 matches that I've announced, are all going to be stellar contests, and you don't want to miss this Campbell River. I know PWA was running some Campbell River shows there. I know ECCW ran some in the past. I went to a couple as a kid. But I feel Campbell River can really become a hotbed for wrestling, and give these guys a chance. The first 365 show, to anybody I know, to anybody watching and listening, go out, you won't want to miss, because not only that, those 4 matches that I've announced so far, we have a 10,000 thumbtacks on a pole match. Now, there's not going to be a pole where all these thumbtacks are super glued to it. From what I understand, there will be a bag of 10,000 thumbtacks hung on a pole, and whoever can climb up the pole will get the bag of thumbtacks, can use them as they see fit, and the match will be between Nolan James Clark and Campbell River's own Eddie Osborne. And that's one thing I've noticed, not just in the BC shows, but in the first Ontario shows. There's a lot of more, I wouldn't want to say more violent matches announced, but stipulation matches with some crazy weapons, some thumbtacks, some flaming tables, and all this stuff. 365 is trying to do something a little bit different here, but that's going to be a hell of a contest. A 10,000 thumbtacks, bag of thumbtacks on a pole match. And I have not even spoken about the main event for the evening, which is going to be between one of the best kept secrets in all of wrestling, Rhea Von Slasher, who does not get the credit she deserves. She has just been really putting in some great matches in the last couple years, and she will be competing in the first ever main event for 365 Pro Wrestling against Nicole Matthews, who also is really flown under the radar. Well, she did get some recognition. She was in the Mae Young Classic tournament, but she did a lot of stuff with Shimmer and whatnot, but these two are looking to tear the roof off the place in the first ever main event for 365. And I got a question. I see Brett Matthews and Nicole Matthews. I'm going to have to dig up some more research. Is there any relation there, or they just happen to have the same name by coincidence? So the main event, of course, Rhea Von Slasher versus Nicole Matthews, and the sponsors for the event are Fitness Inc. for all your fitness and MMA needs, and Unveiling Toys with a bunch of retro classic games and current toys. Thanks to them for sponsoring the show. And then the very next night, 365 is doing it. They're all day, every day. They're doing another show. It'll be Saturday, January 11th, 2020 in Courtenay, BC. Once again, a 7:30 bell time at the Comox Band Hall, which is 3320 Comox Road in Courtenay, BC. And we basically got the same roster, except for there's one addition added, but all the matches are different from what I can see. We have BJ Lorado versus Zach Andrews. Now, Zach Andrews is from Courtenay, so he's the hometown boy, so you can expect a lot of friends and family to come out and see him and give him some support and be behind him. So BJ Lorado versus Zach Andrews. We got Cremator Von Slasher versus Nolan James. I love the match graphic that's been floating around social media for this, where Nolan's trying to look just as scary or crazy as Cremator. Job well done, but I don't think you can ever really step into Cremator's shoes. Then we got Tony Baroni facing Rhea Von Slasher. None of the matches are the same from the first night as the second night. They're all mixed up, so we get to see lots of the same great talent, but in fresh new matchups. So some people can walk out of there after the first 2 shows up 2-0. Some can be 0-2 in their loss record. Some can be 1-1. And so Tony Baroni versus Rhea Von Slasher. We got old greedy bastard Jordy Taylor, who's really impressed me. I didn't mention this when I was talking about the first show. I think he's a current VIPW champion, but just what a great character this guy is. Solid in the ring. You don't want to miss him as he takes on Haviko, which is going to be a really contest you don't want to miss any of these contests, but this one is maybe the one I kind of circled my pen around a little bit more than the others as one I would really want to watch. And then this is the only person that is not on the first night, TJ Harley. Yes, for those of you who know him, he made a big name for himself out here in Ontario, but he currently lives in British Columbia, and he will be on the show in Courtenay, BC, and he will be taking on Beef Boy Elliot Tyler. What a dream matchup this is. TJ Harley, so respected in all the circles I've ever ran in. Beef Boy is getting there, and this one is gonna blow the roof off. I already said that once. So what's different than blow the roof off? Light the sun bitch on fire. Something. TJ Harley versus Beef Boy Elliot Tyler. And then Eddie Osborne, that crazy bastard, is gonna go and compete in another 10,000 thumbtacks match. I did not see if this one's on a poll or not, but it is advertised as Brett Matthews versus Eddie Osborne in a 10,000 thumbtacks match. The sponsors are the same. We got Fitness Inc., thank you very much, and Unveiling Toys, and the main event, once again, Nicole Matthews. She's a big draw. People want to see her. She brings a lot of fans to the crowd, and she will be taking on Billy Swade in the second ever main event for 365 Pro Wrestling. There's a lot of little small towns in the area, and we could start getting people to come there, and I'm just so excited. This is going to be a great first week. I can't wait to see what happens on these very first shows, and my next episode, episode 2 of the Weekly Whisper, will be going into the results of all these shows. Hopefully I will have some video clips to show as well, and maybe some promos of people talking about the matches or whatnot, but there's a lot of action. Make sure you get out there and see this action, and I would like if people are in attendance, are part of the crowd for any of these shows, feel free to message me and send me your thoughts, your results, what happened, what didn't happen, what you liked, what you didn't like, and I will name drop you on this show and report what I've heard. If not, I'm just going to have to stick to the company results, but I like hearing from the fans and getting their opinion as well. So plenty of this more to come. Every week, Elian Habanero, that's me, Cuba, will be here with a Weekly Whisper show. Look forward to episode 2 and lots of great guests, like I said, coming out. Make sure you check out the other content on 365. It's on the websites, it's on the YouTube, it's on all the social media. You can find links. It's easy to find this stuff if you're looking for it. And all the past matches from the former promotion. So check out the podcast, daily podcast. I listened to the one with Joe Dog Hallam today. And also the starting point is our DNA. The first episode is featuring Bulldog Brandon Hines. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for watching. I look forward to spending more time with you in the upcoming weeks. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!